These are your Lullaby Paints display setup instructions. Please play through the entire video before attempting to assemble the display. If you have any questions concerning how to set up the display, please contact customer service at 1-864-834-7800 extension 1. Inside your Lullaby Paints display box, you will find a hardware package that consists of 20 locking cams and locking pins and 16 5mm by 1 1/4 inch long shelf pins. There are 2 smaller plastic bags inside the package. One bag consists of 4 snap-in cams with locking pins, and another bag that has 16 sets of the screw cap hardware for the graphics. The screw cap hardware consists of 16 screws, 16 threaded brass inserts, 16 black nylon washers, and 16 chrome caps. The threaded brass inserts are inside the chrome caps and will have to be removed before assembly. Also inside the package, you will find the components that make up the Lullaby display. The display consists of 7 parts and 4 shelves. The 2 long side panels are at the top of the photo. The lower base pieces are at the bottom right of the photo, and the top header pieces are just to the left of the base pieces. The 4 shelves are laying on top of each other in the photo just to the left of the header pieces, and the top of the base is to the lower far left of the photo. The first step in assembling the Lullaby Paint display is to insert all of the locking cam pins. All of the cam pins will be placed into the 2 end panels. Please note that the 16 holes in the center of the panels are for the shelf pins. There are 8 holes in each panel that are lined up and spaced evenly apart from each other. Only attach the locking cam pins in the 4 holes to the far right of each end panel in the photo, and the 8 holes on each panel to the far left of the end panel. The locking cam pins should be put in using a Phillips head screwdriver. Do not run the cam pins in too deep. Only go until the head of the pin meets with the board. Next, you will need to put the cams into the pre-board holes on the edges of the base panels and the header panels. These will be the cams that were inside the large bag and that have the Phillips head fitting to lock the cams. Do not use the snap-in cams in the small plastic bag. It is important to note that once these cams are in place, they are very difficult to remove and may damage the display. Be sure that the opening on the cam is facing out as shown in this photo. Using a hammer, lightly tap the cams into place. Once the cams and the locking pins are in place, simply slide the cam over the cam pin, lining them up properly. Once they are lined up properly over the pin, simply turn the cam using a Phillips head screwdriver to lock it in place. If it is not aligned properly, the cam will not lock over the pin and the panel will not be secured. It is critical that the cam is lined up properly over the pin. Repeat this process for both base panels and both header panels. Once you have completed this properly, you should be at the point that is in this photo. Next, you will lay the other end panel on top of the base panels and the header panels, and you will need to slightly flex the header panels and the base panels out so the end panel can fit onto the cams properly. Once the cams are properly aligned over the pins, use the same process as before, using your Phillips head screwdriver, and lock the cams in place. Next, you will need to insert the snap-in cams into the base top. Remember, these cams do not have a Phillips head fitting. Again, turn the cam facing out and slightly tap the cam into place using a hammer. As before, it is important that the cams are turned in the correct direction because of the difficulty of removing them if placed improperly. Next, line up the base top cams with the locking cam pins and press down on the base top, locking it into place. This photo shows how the base should look once everything is assembled and the top of the base is applied. Now you can stand the display up, and it is time to attach the graphics. In the small bag containing the screw cap assembly, you will take a screw and first place the threaded brass insert over the screw. Remember, the threaded brass insert is inside the chrome cap, and you will have to remove it before you can start. Next, place one of the black nylon washers behind the brass threaded insert. This photo shows what each assembly should look like before you insert it into the display. There are small pilot holes located on the header panels and on the upper section of the end panels. This is where each screw cap assembly will be applied. Next, take the graphic and place it over the brass threaded inserts that are now applied to the display. Take one of the chrome caps and screw it onto the brass threaded insert. This will lock the graphic in place. Repeat this process for each location. This is what each cap should look like once properly in place. The same process is followed for both the header panels and the end panel graphics. Next, insert the 16 5mm by 1 1/4 inch long shelf pins into the line board holes. You may need to use a hammer to lightly tap the shelf pins into the holes due to paint buildup during the finishing process. Next, place the shelves on the shelf pins with the grooves facing up. Place your Lullaby paint samples on the shelves accordingly, and you are finished with your setup of the display. Again, if you have any questions concerning the setup of your Lullaby paints display, please contact customer service at area code 864-834-7800 extension 1.